Hello there people of the world, and welcome to today's episode of Coffee Chats with Jax. You guys, this week's video is a very special video because it's the 3-year anniversary of me meeting Jesus, I guess you could say, or becoming a Christian. That's what this is for me, because on October 29th of 2014, my life completely flipped and turned upside down. And I've gone into my testimony before. If you've read my book, then you know the whole thing. If you want to read my book, links in the description box below. But I was 19, I had just come off this tour, like a life-changing tour, not in like a good way, but in like a wow. You guys know those moments when you like surprise yourself in not a good way? It's just kind of a time in my life where that happened. That was my theme. I completely lost myself, and it kind of became this point where I felt like I didn't know what I was living for. Around this time, I was given a journal for the first time, which is hilarious because I journal like crazy now. It's like I can't imagine doing anything but that. But I was given this journal in this like monumental moment in my life and was told to write and to just write it out because I couldn't talk about it with anybody. I didn't know how, I didn't know who to talk to. Basically, I started writing, and I'm happy that I did because now I have the opportunity to go back and look at what I was writing and where I was at. And back in that year, whenever people would ask me how I was, or whenever I would try to write and explain how I was feeling, my word was always empty. I always said that I felt empty, like I didn't know what I was looking for, I didn't know what I needed, but I knew that I needed something, I knew that I needed belonging, and there was this like longing in my heart and my soul for something bigger and better that I felt deep down that I knew I needed, but I didn't know what it was. And so I kept just chasing this like temporary version of happiness, because I would just say that I just want to be happy, I just want to find happy. I don't want to be chasing this hamster wheel thing. And that was me for that year. And so then I go back to Colorado after tour, and I don't like to use the word depressed because I think it's a really strong word, but I'm having a hard time thinking of another word that describes how I was feeling. All I did was every single day I would wake up and I would watch Gilmore Girls all day long because I had no idea what else I was supposed to do. I didn't know what I was living for. And Gilmore Girls is hilarious and it's funny, but I didn't laugh. I just like the zombie like watched this show. They talked so fast. It sucks because now I like know that it's a great show and I want to go back and rewatch it, but it just like reminds me of that time in my life. But that was my escape. I was trying to escape my reality because I didn't know what I was living for. And I knew I was messed up. I knew that something was off and something was broken, and I'm gonna cry. Now it makes sense where I was at, because it's like there's a longing that's put into our hearts that we're made for something more. There's something that we're created with that's like not a memory of something, but like if we are created with this longing to be loved and with this longing to be like home and safe and to belong, that means that there's a solution to it. There really is. Just like we aren't hungry because there's no such thing as food. We aren't thirsty because there's no such thing as water. We feel those desires. Everybody does. I don't care who you are. I know that you can relate to that. In some way, shape, or form, you want to be loved and you want to be accepted and you want to belong. And that's where I was, and I didn't know what that was. And that's the moment that it happened. The point of this video is just that like when I was in my darkest, one of my darkest places, that's when it happened. On October 29th of 2014 is when Jesus came into my life, and that might sound Christianese, but it's real and it mattered. And since that moment, oh man, my life just went on a crazy train. I was like, if this Jesus guy is real, I want to know everything that there is to possibly know about him. I want everything that there possibly could be, because I don't want to waste time anymore. Like if this is out there, if this is real, this isn't just a dumb hobby. Now today, looking at my life, it's so crazy because the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. I'm in this giant C.S. Lewis phase right now. I'm trying to read all of his books. I just finished The Great Divorce, and basically that's a book about a bus ride from hell to heaven, and it's just an allegory. It's just like, it's not C.S. Lewis saying this is what happens when you die. It's just an allegory of, in my opinion, a lot about our choices and about how we have the power to choose. We can choose infinite happiness. We can choose to live our life in that kind of way, or we can choose to stay bitter. We can choose to stay angry, hopeless, depressed. I could have chosen to stay on that couch and watch Gilmore Girls for the rest of my life. We're so consumed in this world, in this life, in what you wake up on a Sunday, you go to church, you go out to lunch with your community, you go home, dinner, you go to school, you go to work. This is all we know. But the idea that there's something bigger out there, the idea that this is not the end of everything, this is not actually our home, that's crazy. I've been on this like search for home lately this like journey finding what does home mean. But more often than not, I think what I'm coming to learn is that this isn't where we're gonna find home. This isn't where we're meant to live. There's that longing in our heart because we know that we're broken. In C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity, in the beginning of the book, he talks about morality and how we know right from wrong, but what is telling us what is right and what is wrong? What are we listening to? What is the standard for that? And why do we all have it? And I'm just starting to realize that it looks a lot different than I think we know. And the choices that we make every single day matter. It affects us. In this book, these ghosts that like came from hell are talking to these spirits that come from heaven. And every time the spirit asks the ghost to choose to forgive someone or to choose to love someone or to choose joy, and this ghost chooses against it, he gets smaller and smaller and more into his ghost-like sense. And every time the ghost chooses to listen to the spirit and chooses to let go of that anger, let go of that self-pity, that ghost gets bigger and more real and more human and more like a spirit that's about to enter into heaven. And the book blew my mind, okay? If you haven't read it, please go read it. I'm probably gonna read it again, actually, like, because it was that good. It just really brought to my attention the power that we have in every choice that we make. I have two choices in front of me right now. I can choose to complain and be upset and sad, or I can choose to get up and be gracious and thankful for the fact that I am breathing, I am alive, and I am loved. I don't want to belittle real problems in this world because I know that there are a lot, but I want to say that we have a choice in how we handle them. We have a choice in what we let into our heart. We have a choice to let go of bitterness towards people or things. That stuff eats away at you. That stuff puts you lower and lower and lower, and it keeps you there. It's a trap. It's literally a trap. Self-pity, when it's abused, oh my gosh, I can go into this so much. Like, I just want to talk about this book for like 20 more minutes, but this is already probably a really long video, so I'll get into it more next time. But you guys, I love you. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting me and what I'm doing. If you want to read my book, that's where I give my whole on detailed testimony and everything about how I found faith and freedom and truth and my journey in that. That book is in the description box below. It's extremely honest and vulnerable and real, and some of it's embarrassing, but it matters, so I put it in a book. And if you want to read it, please go pick up a copy, description box below, hard copy or Kindle version. Also, if you guys want to choose to get more involved in what I'm doing, I have a Patreon page where you can go. There's also a link in the description box below. I love you guys. I hope you're having a great week, and I will talk to you next week.